Would you look at that? Pretty pathetic, huh? I was the world's nicest critic and comments bullied me for no reason. Oh yeah, this is his story. Actually, not really. This is a review for The Emperor's New Groove.
Get on with it!
Right. Let's move in. That's right, guys, we're here to talk about The Emperor's New Groove, a movie that either one half of people have never heard of or the other half say it's an underrated classic that deserves all the love that it didn't get when it was first released. So what do I think about it? Well, I adore it. Truth be told, this is actually one of my favorite Disney movies, which is strange because at first glance, there's nothing special about it. It's not Disney's most majestic story, it's not their most gorgeously animated film, it doesn't even have the memorable songs we're used to with Disney, yet I think it's fantastic, but why? Let's start with the story. A young, selfish emperor by the name of Kuzco does whatever he wants and always wants his way. He tells a villager by the name of Pacha he's going to destroy his home to build a mansion for himself, leaving Pacha and his family homeless. Kuzco's royal advisor, Yzma, and her sidekick, Kronk, devise a plan to kill Kuzco by poisoning him, but accidentally turn him into a llama instead. In an attempt to get rid of the body, Llama Kuzco ends up with Pacha, who reluctantly helps Kuzco get back to the palace, all while teaching him to be less selfish. In the meantime, Yzma and Kronk are out searching for Kuzco to finish the job. Pretty standard moral of, hey, learn to be a nice person. Great teaching moment for the little ones. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Interesting enough, though, the story originally wasn't supposed to be this way. During development, The Emperor's New Groove was actually going to be a film called Kingdom of the Sun, where a young emperor and a peasant that look like each other switch places like the Prince and the Pauper, and an evil witch turns the real emperor into a llama to do her bidding. It was going to be an Incan culture-heavy grand musical with all the music written by musician Sting. Unfortunately, due to too many hands changing the story, it eventually turned into the movie we now know today as The Emperor's New Groove, a buddy comedy with only one musical number, yet the rest of the songs are still included on the soundtrack. It was such a big deal, Sting's wife had a video camera and recorded animation and music sessions, which eventually turned into the unauthorized documentary called The Sweatbox, about the creation of the film. With all that said, this movie has the ingredients to be an absolute disaster, but it wasn't. So again, why do I like it so much? Well, simple. It's funny. Jessica Rabbit said it. He makes me laugh. Roger himself says a laugh is a very powerful thing, and that's what this movie does. It makes me laugh. For a film that went through so many rewrites and basically turned into something different, the final product is hilarious. No, it's not Beauty and the Beast or Pinocchio, which are considered absolute masterpieces, but what I would call this is Disney's funniest film and a masterclass of zany cartoon comedy. Throughout this movie, there are instances of peril where a character is in trouble and could die. Kuzco and Pacha on the bridge, and Pacha nearly falling off the palace. But then Yzma and Kronk fall off a cliff or go into an alligator pool where it's used for comedic purposes. It's kind of like Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny doesn't want to get shot out of fear, but someone could also have a rock fall on their head and they're fine. That's what it feels like. One big Looney Tunes cartoon. That makes it feel like not a Disney movie, which isn't a bad thing. We're so used to tradition with Disney, especially in the decade prior of grand musical numbers and characters wanting more out of their situation, where this is just two guys learning to like each other and one growing into a better person. It's literally an instance where you don't need the biggest stakes in the world. Not every bad guy has to be Thanos. Sometimes keeping things simple can be a benefit. While I do love this movie for its comedy, it wouldn't be anything without their unique characters and their distinct personalities. You have Kuzco, the ridiculously full of himself emperor. His cocky attitude and oblivious nature to how people feel about him makes him both likable and annoying as all hell. It works because you don't want him so hated that he's irredeemable in the end. David Spade gives that perfect balance of boisterous selfishness and arrogant stupidity. Pacha is wonderful as well, being the good-hearted yin-yang to Kuzco, a good loving family man that even when treated like total shit by the Emperor, still comes to save him several times. John Goodman fits that mold perfect. Then there's Yzma, maybe my favorite character in the movie. Eartha Kitt's comedic timing is a work of art. She's so evil, the way her design is shaped, the contrast of purple from everything else in the setting, her knowing she's the smartest person in the room, and how she reacts to those around her, especially Kronk. Because then we get to the unsung hero of this picture, Kronk. voiced by Patrick Warburton.
Yes! Lock and load! Lock and load!
The dim-witted muscled sidekick to Yzma, who isn't actually a bad guy. He talks to squirrels, loves to cook, and has an internal moral struggle about trying to kill Kuzco. Warburton's deep voice and ranges of sluggishly slow to quick dialogue is perfection for the role. It's also implied that Yzma goes through these guys quickly, almost like it's suggesting she's sleeping with these guys for a little then tosses them aside. Might I suggest Royal Advisor Tinder, madam? Other important characters include Pacha's family, who do help our heroes escape the village, but that's just about it. Your focus in a movie that's a little over an hour is our four main characters, which lets you pay the most attention to them. Overstuffing this with more characters wouldn't have let them ferment with you. Don't use that word. Despite having these amazing characters with unbelievable comedic timing, it was a box office disappointment. It wasn't necessarily a bomb, it made all its money back, but wasn't the success that they hoped for. Was more than likely due to the fact that it didn't have the biggest marketing budget, compared to Dinosaur, which I saw literally everywhere, probably due to a time crunch to get the movie out with all the rewrites. Plus, it was having to compete in the holiday season with movies like Jim Carrey's Grinch, Mel Gibson's What Women Want, and Dude, Where's My Car? Eesh, that's rough. Granted, it did have a direct-to-DVD sequel as well as a TV series on Disney Channel, so it did have some afterlife. However, it's just the beginning of Disney's box office disappointments in the first decade of the 2000s, but compared to others we will cover, this wasn't too bad. It has grown in popularity too over the years with nostalgia merchandise, which I love to see. People enjoying it for what it is, and not trying to compare it to other grand Disney movies. A simple film with a simple lesson with loads of comedy. Because dude, sweet! I still love this movie. I think the animation is quality, the pacing is excellent, it's absolutely hilarious, and the characters are some of the best comedic ones Disney has ever created. I can say without a doubt, it is the studio's funniest film and holds a special place in my heart. Boom bam, baby! So what happens when you do the opposite and make something as grand as possible and forget a lot of these qualities? Well, next time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and tell me, have you seen The Emperor's New Groove? Do you like it? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, or enemies, I guess, and subscribe to my channel for more animation reviews, nostalgia reviews, and anything else I can come up with. Thanks, everybody!